Hello, Capricorn. Welcome back to Mind, Body, and Heart Tarot Therapy. I'm here to do the reading for the month of September 2019. Virgo season, and afterwards entering Libra season. It's a fellow Earth sign. You should be comfortable with that. I think it's a month full of opportunities for Capricorn. So let's see what messages we have for Capricorn. So I'm going to pull out a Rumi card from the Rumi Oracle. Afterwards, we're going to go through the tarot reading. All right. I hope you're well, Capricorn. As you know, this is a general reading. If it resonates, it resonates. And if it doesn't, then it's just not your reading. Do not try to fit it in. All right. We have for Capricorn. September 2019. Merciful Mother Jamal. Okay. This is the last card in the deck, 44. And it has to do a lot with grace and forgiveness. And we'll see more now because I'm going to read for you the poem from Rumi attached to this card. And then we're going to go to the guidance. So the poem says, "Oh, sudden resurrection, oh, countless blessing, oh, blazing fire in the jungle of thoughts. Today you arrive with laughter to break open the jail." Rumi. All right. So, resurrections and countless blessings. Blazing fire in the jungle of thoughts. I like that. I keep getting these messages for most of the signs this month to kind of get out of their minds and go more into the body, and makes sense with the Virgo season being an earth sign, but it also makes sense because Virgo is a very analytical sign energy, and we can get stuck in our minds a lot, weirdly enough. Okay, let's see what's the guidance for this. So normally it's a really long read. I can't go through all that because it's just going to be too long. And you won't have the attention span to follow me through anyway. So let's see what the guidance is. So you're being asked to take stock of your own thoughts and attitudes. Having to be tough and play hardball in the past had served its purpose. Let's bring this closer. Where? What? Yeah, having to be tough and play hardball in the past has served its purpose. Yeah, this oracle comes to you with guidance to become softer in your way and your attitude. Capricorn, I think this message is literally for you. Can you gently but firmly place to one side the judge within, the one who keeps score and demands retribution, an eye for an eye, the exponent of absolute justice? Can you invite instead the one who gentles the aggressive lord within and allows him to bow before the great lady who loves, is wise, and who steadies in the workings of the world with the softest of touches? So this lady is a little bit like the Empress in this sense. Don't fear that if you suddenly give yourself a break, all your discipline, hardness, toughness, and suffering will go to waste. No. All things provide learning and serve divine purpose. But now there is no reason to continue in that way. It is time to learn another way. You are strong enough to become gentle now. Oh, wow, Capricorn. This is so beautiful, and I really hope it makes sense to you because I feel like it's literally a tailored message for you. It applies so well, having to do with your character and your, like the whole archetype of Capricorn, right? Don't fear that you suddenly give yourself a break. Oh, okay, I said that, sorry. If there is a foe or fight in your life, ask for the Mother of Mercy, this being the Mother of Mercy, to bless into you resolution. If you have also drawn the hand of Fatima, you are being told that this resolution is already on its way. That's another card, which is not the case. You're being told now that you can stand your ground and remain in your strength without having to become aggressive or hard. You have more power than you realize, and it is in your being. It is not in your ability to control others or manipulate situations, for such actions are unworthy of a being of your magnitude and are unnecessary for your success. Oh, yeah. You're also being given the message that your prayers are powerful. Although action in the world is part of your soul purpose and plan, especially for you being a cardinal sign Capricorn, when you pray, have conviction that your prayers are real, are heard, and are responded to by great universal heart, by the great universal heart. So pray carefully and thoughtfully. Be present and speak as if you are speaking to your dearest, oldest, and most influential and powerful friend, because of course that is exactly what you are doing. Pray from the heart and trust in the power of your prayers. There is no limit to what you can pray about, nothing too unspiritual or unworthy, nothing, so pray. This oracle brings you the message that the great power of compassion is reaching for you, that it wants to help you, but it is waiting for you to ask. So ask, then you shall receive. Now look at that, Capricorn. So it is quite clear. I don't even need to go into explaining this too much. It is asked. You're being asked to shed off a little bit this hard skin you've been the armor that you've been wearing in battle your whole life, most of your life, most of the time. So for so long that you've been identifying yourself with it, right? And there you go. Exactly. Current energy, Seven of Swords, being very defensive, being very hard, and having to always show up as perfect and tough, and there's nothing wrong with that. You needed this. You really needed this. This was part of your survival mechanism. This was part of the plot of how your life had been designed, in a sense, or the challenges that you agreed to when you came into this world as a soul in this reincarnation. That's part of your karmic contract. But also part of your karmic contract now is to release a little bit that tough the toughness, that tight grip, and allow yourself to, wherever you were disciplined and tough or hard on yourself and others, to exchange that with compassion and loving awareness and softness and love. All right, let's see what's challenging for Capricorn for September 2019. What is the challenge? What is it that you're working with? Knight of Swords. I would say communication. I would say, yeah, that type of really abrupt communication where you're talking the truth about the truth, uncovering the truth, but it's very, very harsh. Talking again about like allowing yourself to relax a little bit, and yeah, letting go of this energy of harshness. So this is what's challenging for you right now. Let's see what's the advice for my dear Capricorn. September 2019. What is the message for Capricorn? What is the advice from Tarot? Yeah, the Six of Swords. Moving away from a thought pattern, a way that you're used to thinking that is not serving you any longer. This is mind energy. It starts from your mind, the way you think, the inner critic, the judge, the one that's been yep, playing this role of the tough father, a little bit Saturnian archetype. All right, and what is the outcome? Where is this taking you? Almost. As we're going into the Libra season. As we're going into the Libra season, there we go, the Ace of Swords. Libra is a air sign, so it has to do with the mind, and Libra is classically pictured as the Justice card, which holds a sword, just like this. It has to do with clarity, and it has to do with balance. And in this case, the Ace of Swords has to do with pure insight, deep awareness, clarity of mind. And that was coming from the beginning. That was the message, right? Like, allow your mind to relax, allow yourself to not reside into your mind that much at this point, and find that softness within. I think you really gotta work on opening your heart. The Hanged Man. Sorry, this is your underlying energy. The Hanged Man is a deeply misunderstood card. Of course, there are many school of thought in tarot and many ways to read the cards, but I'm leaning towards the karmic tarot, and the hangman in there has to do that with the fact that it's like the 12th stop in your journey as a soul, you know, and the major arcana has to do with the hero's journey. And this is like the 12th stop, it's somewhere midway through, and you opening your heart. Like, the hangman has to do with opening your heart, with surrender, and with understanding that, like, you know, going from within towards the outside, because you've already um you've made that leap from being always focused within and solving the issues there, to being able to serve, to being able to love, to being able to go out there and be a force of love into the world. This is what the hangman symbolizes in this case. All right, so let's clarify these cards. Let's go a little bit deeper. It's a beautiful reading, Capricorn. I'm excited. I'm excited for you. Okay, so why is the Seven of Wands here as your current energy? Why is the Seven of Wands here as your current energy? Three of Wands. Okay. Let's see about that. Okay, why is the Knight of Swords here as your challenge? The Queen of Wands. Interesting. Why is the Six of Swords here as your advice? The World. And why is the Ace of Swords here as your future energy? Why is the Ace of Swords here as your future energy? So good cards. Okay. Three of Cups. And again, bottom of the deck, we have the King of Cups. All right. Underlying energy. This is the theme of your reading, right? The theme of your reading is getting into that soft part, opening your heart and being aware of your emotions and master your emotions. It's where you're at in your journey. This is what you're dealing with and what is required of you to to allow yourself to open up to to the spot of softness, where you are allowing yourself to really feel the love inside, the love you have for the world, and the love that the world, the universe has for you. It's always there inside. We just cover it up with layers and layers of harshness and defense mechanisms, because we are trying to protect that part, but we're putting so many layers sometimes that we forget it exists, right? Was that story at some point with, I don't know where, in Thailand probably. There was this Buddha, big Buddha statue near a temple that was really, really, like, didn't look like much, but the monks were taking care of it for generations and generations. And recently, as they were cleaning it up and whatever, they saw that under that layer of, like, I don't know what that was, like mud and very ordinary material, cracked open, and there was gold inside. You know, like when we protect something, we try to protect something for the life of us, because we know how soft and how vulnerable that part is. But and it was, right, because most of the time there were thieves and invaders stealing these gold statues. So they had to protect it. But then they forgot. They forgot that there was gold in there. There was, like, we forget as well. That's what I'm saying. And that's your journey right now. Is recovering that gold within, finding your spot, opening up, really opening up, opening up for yourself. Really, it's not for other people. It's not like you're making necessarily a great gift to humanity if you show up a little bit of vulnerability. In a sense, it is. But what is more important is that that's truly for yourself, because that's where the nourishment comes through, that's where the light comes through, that's where you finally start seeing that goal within. And you know, you Capricorn, you've been carrying this really heavy burden, this part of your archetype, part of your life journey, of always having to doubt your self-worth. Most of you come from really harsh environments that hardened you in this way, and that always made you justify your existence in senses and in ways that maybe other signs I'm familiar with. And I'm there with you. I completely relate. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy to show some vulnerability, and to allow your guard to go down, because you've been attacked before and you've been hurt. You've been truly hurt. But that's what we're learning right now. Like, yeah, those shields were necessary. Fair enough. But it has also time, like, this is the only king, I think, or maybe the king of cups as well, but I'm not sure, that does not wear an armor, you know? Oh, this is the king of cups. I mean, the ones, I think he does. He's like he's full of emotions. He's very aware of the emotions. See, his throne is in the water. Water symbolizing emotions, and this water is really agitated. There's waves there, but he's floating on top of them with no problem. He's mastering his emotion. He allows himself to feel everything. He doesn't need to act on them, though. And let's move on with this. Oh gosh, this reading is getting longer and longer. It's because of the oracle cards. So here we go. It's this whole, now you're being defensive, and it's important to ask yourself now if it's really necessary to be defensive. Are you really attacked, or is just a perceived threat? And if people really are attacking you, is there another way to react, or to respond rather than react, other than what you're used to? Would the kindness and compassion be a game changer, maybe? Most of people act when they act in I don't know, aggressive ways, because they are struggling with their own fears and their own demons. So many times when we're being like cornered out, it helps if we can show compassion and forgiveness. I'm not saying to allow yourself to be persecuted in any way. Do stand up for yourself, but it is important to maybe revisit the way you do that. And the three of wands, with the three of wands has to do with like you've done what needed to be done. You've done everything that needed to be done. You've put in the action. It's time to relax and wait for the universe to send in what is it that you asked for, whether it was in terms of prayer, whether it was in the sense of putting the action that is needed for a certain outcome to come through, sending the emails, sending the applications, sending the letters or the messages that you wanted to send. You had put the action. Right now, we can't really control the outcome. You can only control your own reaction and your own inner space. Um, yeah, as I said earlier, with you're like having this very defensive attitude, it is like this harsh communication comes as a normal thing. It comes as part of the whole, this is like this whole archetype. Whenever we're cornered and um we feel attacked, we're going to be defensive and attack back. We're gonna come out as harsh, we're gonna come out as aggressive. And with Knight of Swords here, like he's one of the most like aggressive knights. He's like, look at him, he's charging for war. And he's like he fights for justice, he fights for the truth, and he is an expansive energy. The motives aren't necessarily the problem, it's the means. It is challenging for you right now to communicate in a grounded way, and it's challenging right now for you also to like the Queen of Wands. She's super confident, she's grounded, she's like aware, she's very spiritual, she's like a magic. Out of all the queens, she's like the one connected most with the spirit and with the magic. She's got this black cat here, and the symbolism of this black cat here, it says that you may know stuff, you may see stuff in people and within yourself, and it's not always necessary for you to tell them. It's not necessary for you to communicate all the time everything that you see. Sometimes some of this wisdom, it's better kept silent, and allow yourself to get a bigger picture, gather more information. Sometimes we see how people are deceiving themselves or going through the same pattern over and over again, and we are thinking that we're helping them by making them aware, but most of the time we don't. We actually trigger them, and they would just trigger more of these defensive mechanisms. And if I can't reach the person from a place of awareness, that I'm not making them aware, I'm only just helping trigger them more and more and more, and it's going to be the same cycle over and over again. So when we think that we're helping, it's very important to look at what we say, how we say it, and how it's being received. If we see that we're being like met with a shield, and you are aware of this because it goes both ways, right? And sometimes we see these things in front of us so clearly because there's a correspondent of something that's happening within ourselves, like a mirroring. And it's important how to communicate your knowledge, your understanding of the world, of the situation, and of the people. You may be very right, but if you are just triggering and you're not then you're not bringing the message home. That's when it's important to be more gentle and aware and forgiving and compassionate. And your advice from tarot is to leave something behind. Leave this thought patterns that the world is out there to get you. Whatever made you so defensive in the past is not here anymore. You survived that. You're safe. And the parts of you that are reliving the same story over and over again, they need to be brought home. They need to be made aware that from inside yourself, make your inner child aware that you survived. You're safe. It doesn't need to be terrified anymore. You don't need to be so protective and so harsh anymore. I know, I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself over and over and over again, but you see, you're going through this boat and you're moving away. And this, like the six, this is like a sea, right? Like, so you're traveling this sea of emotions. Always in tarot, when you have water, it has to do with your emotions. And this is a calm water. And you're like, yeah, it reminds me of the reverse ticks, and you're kind of like moving on. It's a sort of a death, but it's a death of a pattern in a sense. We're not at a 10 of swords yet. That's when the death of pattern really happens. But you're moving away from something that's not good for you, the way you think about something, and that's graduation, baby. That's really graduation. That's the world, the number 21. That's like the opening of the portal towards something completely new. You've finished. You're done with this part of your life where you had to be hard, where you had to be very, very structured and disciplined and harsh. No, this is done. It was very important. Congratulations for making it up until here. This is graduation, though. That means that something incredibly, it's like the end of a journey, but it's an end of a journey with like a celebration and the laurels and everything. You've done the best you could have done, and that also means that you can leave that behind because it's gone, it's done. You don't need it doesn't serve you anymore. It would be like, okay, you finish university, you put in 5 long years, and then you graduate, and then instead of like going into the world and continue with life and, I don't know, look for a job, go travels, things like that, you go back to classes over and over again because you just used to. So you're being advised to really be aware of this. Allow yourself to really move from a thought pattern that does not serve me anymore, and to step into this portal of the new world that you are creating, really. And here we go. This Ace of Swords comes with full understanding of what's been happening, with deep insight, and it's also having to do with something new. It's an ace, right? It's a potential. It's a number one. It's a new step on a new journey, and it comes with like great mental clarity. And with the Three of Cups, it's about like your connections. You can have closer, deeper connections to your soul family now, because you allowed for that heart layer to be full. You can afford to be vulnerable. You are strong enough to be soft. Therefore, you can connect with people at a heart level, not just at what's practical, not just you hold this for me and I hold this for you and that makes us friends. No, from a place of real compassion and empathy and pure vulnerability. When you really put yourself out just as you are, with no shame, without, and yeah, of course there may be fear because that's why you're vulnerable, but the point is that you are able to take that leap of faith and to not have necessarily an expectation. You allow yourself to be seen just as you are, and these friends, these people that are in your life, are able to see you and to accept you just as you are. So that's truly, truly beautiful, Capricorn. Allow yourself to go through that. You're ready. You're ready to truly open up. You're ready to open your heart. You're ready to stay into your emotion and taste into them and use them as a compass in order to see what's real and what's not. And like interpreting our own emotions is not as easy as we think it is. We always believe that, okay, I feel like this, that must be something wrong with you. If I feel bad about this, there's something wrong with you. If I feel threatened, that means you must be attacking me. If I feel this, or that, if I feel shame, I must have done something wrong, or I feel I'm a bad person, or something like that. It's not like that. That's that's a learned way to look at it, but that's not how it is. How it is like I'm reading my emotions, and I'm feeling okay. If I'm feeling bad about this situation, about the way you treat me right now, maybe my boundaries aren't exactly clear, or maybe I wasn't aware of this trigger. It's something that you're like touching a wound, and I didn't know how to address that. And I can remove myself from a situation without necessarily putting the blame on you or on anyone else. Or I can allow myself to go and tend for that wound somehow, because now I see it, when it's being triggered by someone else. Or if I feel shame, and shame is just trying to protect me, that means that I'm actually really getting close to that point. Oh, that really hurts. And the shame acts as a threshold, a guardian, trying to truly, truly protect that soft spot, to not hurt it, to not allow anyone to come near it, including yourself. Shame is one of like the worst goddamn feelings ever. And and we don't even want to go in there. The moment we taste a little bit of shame where we at, they're like, okay, no, no, it's taboo. We don't go there. Let's move on with thinking about something else or something like that. And this is a way to navigate our emotions, understanding what is it that they're there for, and how to not take them as the absolute truth, but just as messengers, and learning how to decode that. All right, my dear Capricorn, I'm so happy to have had this opportunity to see this, and it's a beautiful reading, and I hope it resonates with you. And if it does, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you here soon.